Tonight on News 5 Live, a pair of gunmen busted by Belize City Police following the murder of Ora Leslie is charged with firearms and ammunition possession. Another shooting in Belize City, less than a stone throw away from a police checkpoint on Vernon Street. The People's Constitution Committee meets with teachers. Holy Redeemer Cathedral is suffering a severe termite infestation. And in tonight's episode of Culture Tuesday, it's Carnival season once again. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the short code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000, courtesy of Smart and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Caribbean Sprinter is proud to offer our best available rates to Belize residents online at sprinter.bz. Register today for our Sprinter Rewards program located on the resident section of our website. Skip the line when you book online with online check-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Francis Renault Concert Series is back and presents the Electric 80s. Join us at the Bliss Center for 2 nights of colorful performances, starting on Friday, September 1st at 8 p.m. and also Saturday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Come out as vibrant voices whisk you away, back in time with celebrated 80s hits. Tickets are available at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts and are $25 for general admission, $40 reserved, and $50 premium. For more information on how to get your tickets, contact 600-7453. Join us for the fun. Join us for the flair. Join us on September 1st and 2nd for an electric event of 80s musical magic. Sponsored by BTV, NCC, Travelers Liquors, Puma, Full Tech Systems, and the Angelus Press Limited. Partners with BEL, Smart, Niche, and PUC.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, August 29th. I am Sabrina Daly. 34-year-old Aurel Leslie was gunned down in the Yabra area of Belize City on Sunday night by persons believed to be affiliated with the rival PIV gang. It is the most recent execution to be carried out among feuding groups in the old capital. In the immediate aftermath of the deadly shooting that ended with the well-known businessman crashing his pickup truck into the fence at St. John's Cathedral, police were able to apprehend a pair of men at the roundabout near Palote High School. Those individuals have been identified as 25-year-old Eldon Flowers, a resident of Oleander Street, and 27-year-old Kareem Franklin, a resident of Flamboyant Street. They were busted with a 9mm Glock pistol, along with 4 live rounds of matching ammunition. Earlier today, Flowers and Franklin appeared unrepresented in the lower court, where they were charged jointly for kept firearm and kept ammunition without a gun license. Back in April of this year, Flowers was acquitted of the November 2019 murder of Richard O'Neill, who succumbed to his injuries 3 weeks after being shot along the Boom Hattieville Road. O'Neill, who resided on Ordonez Street in Belize City, was kidnapped and taken to an area along that circuit where he was shot multiple times and left for dead on the shoulder of the road. On Sunday night, Flowers and Franklin were pursued by police officers who intercepted them on a motorcycle as they made their way along Freetown Road at the traffic circle. Prior to their arrest, a volley of gunshots, including rounds from a .40 caliber weapon as well as a 9mm pistol, cut down Leslie as he drove towards his home in the Dickinson Street area. While Leslie was a known affiliate of the BLC gang or Bacalans Crips, Flowers and Franklin are members of the rival Peace in the Village or PIV gang. Flowers and Franklin pleaded not guilty to the charges, and due to the nature of the offenses, they were remanded to the Belize Central Prison until October 30th, 2023. Belgian national Frick de Meer was taken into police custody earlier today for questioning in connection with the murder of businessman Ricardo Borja. As we reported, Borja was shot and killed as he sat inside his pickup truck outside of an apartment near Coney Drive on August 19th. In the wake of the murder, Belize City Police have been conducting an investigation and were looking for several persons of interest. Frick de Meer, originally from Brussels, Belgium, migrated to Belize in 2011 and worked as a manager and sales representative in the real estate sector. He was also said to be the business partner of Ricardo Borja. Prior to his demise, Borja recorded a damning testimony detailing real estate scams that were allegedly being conducted by a number of persons in that field of business. A police investigation into that matter continues. A Belize City man underwent surgery this afternoon to repair a bullet wound he suffered in Belize City this morning. The shooting happened around 9:20 a.m. on Vernon Street near its junction with Pine Street, a short distance away from a checkpoint near Mayflower Street. Police say that 27-year-old Jaleel Gujar was sitting on the steps of a wooden house at the corner of Pine and Vernon Streets and was conversing with two men when a gunman appeared from behind the house and shot at him. This morning, scenes of crimes personnel scoured through the area looking for expended shells as other investigators tried to gather whatever information they could about the incident. The motive is still undetermined. Coming up, the PCC meets with Belize district teachers. We'll have more details when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings." Here is one of the most comforting and yet convincing verses in all the Bible. It is comforting in knowing that Christ sees and knows of our hurts and sorrow. It is convicting in knowing that none of our sins nor actions can go beyond the range of His vision. His eyes sees and weighs our action. A burglar once burglarized a New York luxury apartment. The detectives could not find one clue, and finally, as they were leaving, they saw a statue of Christ facing the wall and thought that to be strange. They carried it to the station to see if they could find fingerprints. They did, and the burglar was arrested and was asked why the statue was facing the wall. He replied, "Well, when I was going through all the dresser drawers, I saw that statue of Christ looking right at me. It was as though Christ Himself was looking at me, and I could not stand it, and so I turned His face away from me so that He could not see me." You may turn the face of a statue away from you, but you can never turn the face of Christ. He sees and considers all of your ways. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
This is how Minister Rodwell Ferguson uses his ministerial power. In these texts, he is promising this lady to use his power to help her get a gun license if she sends naked pictures of herself to him. Minister Ferguson, this isn't what the people of Stan Creek West elected you to do. You are not honorable. You are just another sick and disgusting cabinet minister exposed. You should do the honorable thing and resign now. Rodwell Ferguson, not fit for the cabinet, not fit for the House.
Prepárate para el verano más caluroso de la historia con DJ's Sizzling Summer Raffle. Este verano, DJ está regalando $35,000 en premios. Obtenga la oportunidad de ganar DJ Cash y premios increíbles todos los días. Y eso no es todo. No hay uno, sino dos grandes premios. Clientes prepagos por cada $5 en uso principal obtiene una entrada en nuestra rifa diaria. Además, obtenga entradas para sorteos semanales y grandes premios comprando dispositivos promocionales, registrándose en DigiOne Bundle, DigiTV y más. Entonces, no pierdas la oportunidad de ganar a lo grande. Únase a Digi Season Summer Raffle. Visite www.livedigi.com/Season Summer para obtener más información sobre cómo participar. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
Belize is a small society. We have limited talent.
It seems that the ministers in Prime Minister Briceño's cabinet are indeed talented, but not in the way one would hope for good governance. Rather than striving for integrity and accountability, they show a talent for loose morals and abuse of office. From inappropriate messages to exploiting their offices for lewd, personal gains, these ministers display a talent for compromising public trust. The morally corrupt Briceño cabinet is betraying the people's trust. The people wanted a cabinet of decent ministers. Instead, what they got was a cabinet of whatless ministers.
Classes were called off across Belize District as hundreds of teachers converged in Belize City. The People's Constitution Commission hosted its Teachers Constitution Education Forum inside the St. Catherine Auditorium. The 6-hour event saw several lectures on the Constitution of Belize, as well as a question and answer segment where teachers were given the opportunity to voice concerns directly to members of the Commission. News 5's Paul Lopez filed the following report.
Close to 2,000 teachers from across Belize District gathered inside the auditorium at St. Catherine's Academy today. It resembled a scene from a Belize National Teachers Union convention. That is because they were assembled for a Teachers Constitution Education Forum hosted by the People's Constitution Commission.
This is not only historic, but it is critical that we do exercises like this. A constitution is a living document. Generations change. We have developed so many gaps along the way, and we don't talk enough about our constitution. This is something that guides us every day from the moment we're born in this country. The constitution is what guides us and dictates what we're to do and not to do. But yet we don't open the book to know what it is that really guides us.
Ruth Showman, the president of the Belize National Teachers Union, raised the fact that education does not appear as a right in the Constitution of Belize. She further noted that while most teachers take monies out of their own pockets on an annual basis to prepare classrooms, some countries allocate a percentage of their national budget to these types of expenses.
There are countries, for example, who in their national budget allocate a percentage of their budget to certain schools, certain national universities, and so those universities are well funded, and you will not find that the issues our teachers are facing in Belize today, those teachers would be facing. So this is very important that our teachers understand that addressing the Constitution directly impacts their finances, how the wallet or the purse will look, and being able to connect that is part of the process of education.
And during today's education forum, an announcement was made that the People's Constitution Commission will be spearheading national high school debates on the Constitution of Belize. Anthony Chanona, the chairman of the People's Constitution Commission, gave us the details.
The Belize National Teachers Union is an important stakeholder simply because they interact with over 100,000 of our young people, students. You know, the statistics show that 62% of our population is 25 years and younger. So that truly is the present and the future. And because we're heading into September and beyond, we're trying to partner with the Ministry of Education to ensure that the teachers have a greater knowledge, more informed knowledge on the Constitution, that in turn they can participate in activities in the schools, in the respective schools. One of the things that we will be doing, the minister will announce this, is we will be having high school national debates across the country where the young people will be given questions on the Constitution to be resolved as a way to create awareness, because if we do nothing else in this process, we would hope, the Commission hopes, that its legacy is not ended with the final report, but having planted a seed of the importance of having a greater knowledge of your Constitution.
The keynote address was delivered by Attorney Darrell Bradley. His presentation focused on the checks and balances contained within the Constitution to prevent abuse of power by government officials.
We have to look to the checks and balances that are in the Constitution. For example, the vote, the electoral process, the Public Service Commission, the independent constitutional commissions like the Elections and Boundaries Commission and so forth. And we have to ensure that those bodies are strengthened, because when you have a parliamentary system, it has positives, but it also has negatives. The positives is that it creates a very decisive and a government that can act very quickly. The presidential system is more bifurcated, and it's more fragmented, and it promotes more consensus. You can't pass law without consensus. That itself also has challenges. But when we deal with a parliamentary system, we have to be conscious in making sure the Constitution is designed in such a way that they are very powerful, recognizable and distinct checks and balances that the political directorate cannot interfere with. Otherwise, we're going to have some of the realities that we see in our society.
And according to Schumann, good governance is an issue at the top of BNTU's list of priorities when it comes to constitutional reform. In comparing an education forum like this to a strike action, both of which gives teachers an opportunity to speak their minds, Schumann says the two platforms are equally important.
Both are important. We will never undermine the power of a strike. That's a part of what unionism is. This is important. This is where our individual voices can be heard through the survey. So filling out those surveys are going to be very important to individualize our needs, our wants, our demands, and so to me, both are very equally important.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Attorney Darrell Bradley went into greater details on how the Constitution of Belize differs from other constitutions in Central America when it comes to the rights that citizens enjoy. According to Bradley, the Constitution of Belize speaks solely to political rights, while other national constitutions within the region include social and economic rights. He explained that this is why Belize's constitution does not include an individual's right to owning land or getting an education. But Bradley says that this can change through the process the People's Constitution Commission is currently undertaking.
The Constitution of Belize is different from several other constitutions, particularly constitutions that are in Central America. So our constitution, and this is why it's very important, the work of the PCC in engaging with the public and just having people appreciate and understand what's actually in there. Our constitution only addresses what are called political rights. So the Constitution only deals with due process rights. For example, you wouldn't be arrested. You would have the right of due process, you have the right to bail and so forth. Then you also have the right to the protection of your private property, you have the right to freedom of conscience, you have the right to fundamentally life, which is the first right. So those are all political rights. Our Constitution does not deal with what are called social or economic rights. You won't see anything that has to do with the right to land in the Constitution. You won't have anything that has to do with the right to education or water or so forth. Certain international treaties now, which are incorporated by reference into the Constitution, because Belize's preamble says that we will operate as a nation that respects its international treaty obligations. For example, you have the United Nations Convention on the Right to a Child, the rights of a child, and that Constitution for children speaks to enforceable economic and social rights, like the right to an education, and those things would be something that would be incorporated indirectly in the Constitution, but only as it relates to children. And we can then, as part of this process, say that we want the Constitution to be more representative. We want the Constitution to include a wider array of rights that are not just political rights, but that would be something that the people would say.
Ruth Showman, the president of the Belize National Teachers Union, has broken her silence on the slew of criticisms that overshadow her presidency since taking office earlier this year. One allegation is that Showman was once charged for theft and forgery in an embezzlement case. More recently, she was accused of lying to the union's Council of Management about being employed with the U.S. Department of State. This morning, Showman took to social media to say, quote, "These past few months, I have been silent during all the attacks made on me. Today, as I sit to reflect, these questions flood my mind. Why? How much more can I withstand? How are my children really coping? Is it worth it? How much more will the media hurt people without caring how destructive their need for ratings can be? What's the agenda? So many misleading stories. Will it ever stop? What is my purpose in this world?" Unquote. This morning, we caught up with Showman at an event in Belize City where we got an opportunity to ask her about the allegations being levied against her. Here is what she told us.
I said it on election day. BNTU is a private organization. Some individuals, and I don't know who, have decided to make it public. I won't follow suit. BNTU is, I believe, one of the strongest unions in our country, and bringing things out and many a times misleading, those who really love the union wouldn't do that, because BNTU is a private organization and I will keep it as that. Whatever issues are happening are being addressed by the Council of Management, and that's how it should be.
Will you class these individuals as anti-union, anti-BNT?
I'm not going to class. I'm not. In fact, I always say when I meet people, I think one of our biggest downfalls as human beings is that we put labels on each other, and the minute we do, we start dividing ourselves. And I won't do that. Everyone is entitled to their individual comment and their individual opinion. That's, I think, a right that we have, and we're talking about rights today. And I have a right to say that the issues that surround me are private and we're addressing them. And I just need my members to know that the work of the union is ongoing and they are at the forefront and they are what matter.
The Briceño administration's decision to resurrect the 11th Amendment earlier in August was criticized as undermining the work of the People's Constitution Commission. Today, we got a chance to ask Anthony Chinona, the chairman of the People's Constitution Commission, if the commission believes the government overstepped by reintroducing the bill to the House. Here is how he responded.
A very good observation. Two things. One, the commission did not formally meet to address that specific issue, whether or not it would be undermining the work of the commission. On the topic of that move, there were certain commissions that felt very strongly that yes, it would. There were other commissioners that said our focus was to review the Constitution, and the remit was to review, submit a report, and not to get involved in the government's governance of the Constitution. But because we didn't meet as a commission to take a policy position on it, I would say that it is still in abeyance on exactly what the commission felt, other than to say the overriding sentiment was we are to stay within the statute remit of our law. That is the North Star of our work. Do a comprehensive review of the Constitution, consult with the people, submit a report. That is our remit, and that is where we've remained.
After the break, Carnival groups make final preparations for King and Queen competition. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Belize is a small society. We have limited talent.
It seems that the ministers in Prime Minister Briceño's cabinet are indeed talented, but not in the way one would hope for good governance. Rather than striving for integrity and accountability, they show a talent for loose morals and abuse of office. From inappropriate messages to exploiting their offices for lewd, personal gains, these ministers display a talent for compromising public trust. The morally corrupt Briceño cabinet is betraying the people's trust. The people wanted a cabinet of decent ministers. Instead, what they got was a cabinet of whatless ministers.
We value your loyalty. Join our Sprinter Rewards program by contacting us today on the web at sprinter.bz and start earning points towards award travel. Sailing 5 or more segments a month gets you bonus points. So what are you waiting for?
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RFNG Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RFNG Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance, a Road Group company.
This is how Minister Rodwell Ferguson uses his ministerial power. In these texts, he is promising this lady to use his power to help her get a gun license if she sends naked pictures of herself to him. Minister Ferguson, this isn't what the people of Stan Creek West elected you to do. You are not honorable. You are just another sick and disgusting cabinet minister exposed. You should do the honorable thing and resign now. Rodwell Ferguson, not fit for the cabinet, not fit for the House.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
It's only 4 more days before the Carnival King and Queen competition takes place, and Carnival enthusiasts have their hopes in their favorite mass bands to either defend their title or pull off an upset. Today, News 5's Marian Ali stopped in at 2 of the camps that were putting on the finishing touches to their King and Queen costumes, and also wrapping up the other costumes for their members for the Carnival Road March set for September 9th. Here's a sneak peek at what you can expect for the Carnival events in this week's edition of Culture Tuesday.
Defending Carnival King and Queen champions, Mother Nature's Creation is expected to set the stage ablaze on Saturday night. They will be defending their title in those two categories. Band owner Carla Flowers says they'll be ready for this year's competition.
Yes, we are doing the finishing touch. Well, on the king costume now, the queen already finished. So the king we are doing the finishing touch on.
Wheels, wings, and
sequins and colors and everything.
Mother Nature's Creation did not allow us a sneak peek at their costumes at their St. Thomas Street camp today, neither for King and Queen or for next weekend's road march. But Flowers shared that for the first time, they have constructed costumes that can be disassembled and reassembled.
This is our first year. We are building up, taking down costume, putting up and taking down costume. We cannot carry the costume out there whole. We need to set it up now. So this is our first year going to do that, setting up a costume.
How difficult is that, knowing that you might go out there and you might see some rain in terms of the setting up, and you don't know if something snap in place or some of the colors might run on the other colors, things like that?
Well, no.
Or the glue might not hold?
Yes, everything will hold.
But if Mother Nature wants to capture the big win for the annual Carnival Road March, they will have to get past the defending champs in that department, Soca Mocha. And from the looks of things, when we stopped by their camp on Pelican Street today, they were well prepared. Roy Briseño is one of their designers.
It's nothing new. We're coming as per normal every year, coming very strong, more innovative. We're under the patronage team of A Nation in Distress, From the Ashes We Rise, which is a manifestation of what our nation faces today. The rise of gang war. Right now we're definitely working on the King and Queen, which is for this Saturday, of course. So probably say we're, with the King and Queen costume, we're probably about 75% finished with them. So we're just on our finishing touches and so forth.
There will be 10 carnival bands competing for the bragging rights. For the Road March, which is always a spectacle, the bands will showcase their creativity, innovation, and might in terms of the numbers of revelers. Soca Mocha has a blend of all of the above.
Colors, you can look black, white, gold, definitely. A fusion of colors, if I may say.
Okay, and how many members and age range?
Total of 198 so far. It's a huge band, definitely one of the dominant band here in the city. And I can see definitely our age ranges from 18 and above. We don't have a cap age at the top.
So it's one big group?
That is one big group, yes. So it's 3 different sections.
Mother Nature's Creation also wants that coveted title of the Carnival Road March champions. And they've also invested heavily on creativity and color. But size tops that list this year, particularly for their King and Queen costumes.
We get engineer to come in and sit with us and show you how to build it, take it up, put it up and take it down.
It's that huge?
Yes. Our costume will be at least 8 feet high.
That's the King and the Queen?
The Queen and the King. The theme is Belizean beauty. We are doing the rainforest, some beauties of the rainforest. Well, we have 160 members strong. The colors, we're using all different colors. That's what we are using this year.
The King and Queen competition starts at 5 Saturday evening at the Belize Civic Center. Marian Ali reporting for News 5.
Health issues such as obesity among school children were among the main topics dealt with at a non-communicable disease expo today in Belmopan. The event was held to educate children and their parents and teachers on healthy diets and the risks that unhealthy foods can cause in children as they grow older. Among the key speakers today were Director of Public Health and Wellness, Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, and Deputy Chief Education Officer Cecilia Smith, who spoke on what the Ministry of Education is doing as a partner in the effort.
Non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and including childhood obesity have become some of our most significant public health issues that we face in Belize. According to data obtained by Global Health Survey, approximately 35% of adolescents between the ages of 13 and 15 years of age were found to be overweight or obese. That's 35%. Belizeans, we face several nutritional challenges, including a high intake of fatty and fried foods, high intake of sugary and salty foods, unbalanced diet, low fruit and vegetable consumption, and limited physical activity. These have all contributed to the growing number of persons developing NCDs.
Not only have we updated and revised our curriculum to make sure that our teachers are able to address these very critical messages in the lessons that they teach, we are also actively monitoring a group of schools. We're starting in Belize City with the support of the Ministry of Health and Wellness to monitor the gradual ban of sweetened and sugary beverages and foods in those schools, because we understand how critically important it is to start from the very youngest of our population.
31-year-old Javier Martinez, a Mexican national who was detained by police along with 6 other men last Sunday, was slapped with another charge when he appeared in court earlier today. On Monday, Martinez pleaded guilty to the offense of failure to present himself to an immigration officer upon arrival into the country. He was fined $1,000, which he was ordered to pay forthwith. Upon doing so, he was granted a removal order for an expulsion at a reasonable time. But that was not the case. Instead, Martinez returned to custody and arraigned on another charge for failing to comply with the conditions of an employment permit. He pleaded guilty to the charge, was fined, and escorted out of the country immediately. When we return, BNTU president says teachers are being asked to resign over CPD hours.
Everything is better electric. Be more efficient with electric vehicles and transforming your home with Energy Star electric appliances and power tools. This helps to create a greener and cleaner world for the next generation. Energize your world with BL.
Honda Navi, a partner you can rely on. Benquip, equipment, parts, service.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to join us at the 2nd Annual Belize Investment Summit from August 30th to September 1st, 2023 at the Grand Caribe Resort on Ambergers Key. Belize, the land of endless potential, with a vibrant people and economy and a wealth of natural resources, is the region's premier investment hub, offering a range of opportunities across sectors including the blue, green, and orange economies. The Belize Investment Summit 2023 is your chance to explore these opportunities and connect with potential partners, investors, financiers, and stakeholders from across the globe. This 3-day summit will offer networking opportunities, site visits, one-on-one meetings, roundtable discussions, business pitches, an expo, and keynote presentations from government officials and industry leaders. Gain insight into Belize's investment climate and the incentives that make our country the destination for investment. Register now for the Belize Investment Summit 2023 and discover a world of opportunities. Be a believer. Invest in Belize. Thrive in Belize.
This is how Minister Rodwell Ferguson uses his ministerial power. In these texts, he is promising this lady to use his power to help her get a gun license if she sends naked pictures of herself to him. Minister Ferguson, this isn't what the people of Stan Creek West elected you to do. You are not honorable. You are just another sick and disgusting cabinet minister exposed. You should do the honorable thing and resign now. Rodwell Ferguson, not fit for the cabinet, not fit for the House.
How does investment services work? For example, Joe's Construction wants to expand its operations by purchasing new equipment and hiring additional staff. How can Joe's Construction get an investment loan? The answer: Investment Services appraises the loan application and focuses on 2 key areas: adequate collateral and repayability. Investment Services will also consider how Belizeans and the economy will benefit from this new investment through job creation and business growth. The terms and conditions for Joe's Construction loan will be based on the purpose and cash flow. After recommendation and approval, the loan is disbursed. SSB remains committed to proper management of the fund through prudent and responsible investments for the benefit of its beneficiaries, employers, and the Belizean economy. Social Security Board, an investment for you, your family, your future.
It is the start of a new school year under the leadership of a new National Teachers Union president. Ruth Showman, the president of the Belize National Teachers Union, says she believes her most important objective at this time is to connect with her members and hear their concerns as classes resume. Among those concerns already raised are the income tax returns, finalizing the outstanding collective bargaining agreement, and continuous professional development hours, or CPDS. Here's what she told us.
This new school year, and it's my personal approach, I believe in connecting with my members. That to me is critical. There should be no moment in time where my members feel that they can't reach out to me. As a matter of fact, the number that is assigned to the office of the national president, I give it out randomly to all my teachers. Call me, reach out to me. That's one of my first strategies, because a teacher cannot get the help if they don't feel that they have somewhere to go. So that's one fundamental principle I will carry all the time. Reach out to me. You put me here to serve you. I can only serve if you let me know what your needs are. That's one. Two, I've been reaching out to them to gather data. I'm a very data-driven person. I don't believe in making decisions based on emotion, but rather data. And so since July, I have been putting out surveys. Data has been gathered on issues that are affecting teachers. Based on the issues that were gathered on those surveys, I have met with the Ministry of Education to address the issues of income tax the income tax returns, the issue of CPD hours, the licenses, and we haven't finalized. These are ongoing issues. We have the CBA that we seemingly are coming to a near end, and 14 years, and a lot has been invested by our past presidents in lots of meetings. It's been a collective work to get this CBA finished.
As you heard, Showman noted that some teachers are being asked to resign because they have not met their required continuing professional development hours to start the new school year. Showman says teachers are already burdened by the cost of preparing to return to school. She contends that having to pay for CDP courses only compounds their financial hardships.
The hours and the license renewal is a huge issue, and I want teachers to know before you get a letter from anybody saying that you must resign because you cannot renew your license, please call me. Call the office. Don't submit that resignation letter. We have seen teachers during the summer resigning after having years of service, and this is unfair. So we have a lot going on. And
is that request for resignation because they haven't completed what is set out as the required CPD hours?
Right. And we have to be watchful because there are some entities that are making this a business. Already teachers have to address the shortcomings that managements bring to their table by not providing what they should in the classroom, and now they have to be paying for workshops to accumulate 120 hours. So how much more can our teachers bear? And if teachers reach a breaking point, our society is going to feel it. Our children will feel it, and I hope that that message is resonating out there, because no matter what is said, teachers are the backbone.
President Showman is also asking the Ministry of Education why the rush to implement its competency-based curriculum. She argues that some teachers are yet to be consulted on the new curriculum. She further contends that some schools lack basic resources like water and adequate transportation and may not be in a position to take full advantage of the reform. Here is how she puts it.
What I'm gathering is that not every teacher was consulted. In some instances, some teachers, for whatever reason, didn't reach that consultation. And so, as with everything, change brings issues, and I believe that it is critical that if anything is to be implemented, that the voice of the teacher not only be heard, but be respected, because it serves no good to turn on the mic when consultation process is happening, and then you turn it off when implementation happens and you need the feedback from those who really are in the system. So we have issues to address with this, and we will need to sit with the Ministry of Education to iron out those issues as soon as possible, because teachers are feeling the pinch. Sometimes things look beautiful on paper, but the reality is something different. And not every school has the same environment, and so we need to address things individually. Sometimes we take for granted that schools have water. Sometimes we take for granted that schools have internet available. We take for granted that teachers can reach their destination on time. We do have school buses, we have systems in place, and it's not perfected. And we know that there are all systems in place to try to get that. But in getting there, we can't just jump. We need to crawl, then walk, and then we can run with it. And it's that process. The issue, and if I'm asked what's my biggest issue with this whole thing, is the rush. It's not the whole concept of the new curriculum, because it has very good initiatives, but it's the rush.
We also asked Showman for her thoughts on the infrastructural woes being faced at the San Pedro High School. A building at the high school has been deemed unfit for use after its ceiling collapsed. Well, Showman says this is just one example of many school buildings across the country that are unsafe for teachers and students. She took the opportunity to call on the government of Belize to rush the OSH bill.
San Pedro, as with many other schools, that's not the only school. We have a number of schools where, again, I am going to tie another one, being that I'm a unionist and a part of NTUCB, rush the USH. Because if we don't start taking this USH bill seriously, we will continue to see our workers, not only teachers, being placed in environments where it's not conducive to their health. Right now, if we would do a statistics of how many teachers have cancer, how many teachers have kidney problems, how many teachers have died over this past year, and we're not keeping a track. And we might say, oh, it's just a building, but you don't know what that building is causing our teachers who have to be in there all day. Managements need to do better. We need to have better accountability as it pertains to management, and not only for San Pedro, but for all the other schools countrywide. And so this is an ongoing conversation with, again, the Ministry of Education and Management.
Brothers Chris and Santos Herrera from Belize City are working to become the first in their family to complete tertiary level education. They are now seeking the assistance of the public to realize that goal. The siblings are studying in Mexico. Chris is pursuing a degree in psychology, and Santos is pursuing a degree in multimedia design. The brothers say they have paid for their schooling using their own funds and with the help of the Ministry of Education and the university they are attending. But this year, they have fallen short of meeting their tuition payments. The brothers have since taken to social media to seek public support in reaching their goal of raising $3,750 by September 20th. We spoke with Chris Herrera.
I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in psychology at the University Anáhuac Mayab. It was a really great risk that I took because, like, even my parents were questioning me. They were like, you know, are you sure about this? Because this is like a expensive endeavor. But then I took the challenge, and then I'm surprised right now that I've actually reached into my third year. But then what I've noticed is that, you know, with the inflation and the different financial constraints that we have faced and over these years, it has like really affected me financially. In my third year, I'm seeking for financial help because I'm already the different sources that I have been depleted, I would say. And so that's when I decided to take it to the public, you know, ask for fundraising so that, you know, people can help out with this. We were considering just you know, it's just making a pause for this semester. But then my parents and some of my friends, they were like, you know, no, you just continue on and, you know, go ahead with this fundraiser, because I brought the idea of making a fundraiser to ask for donations from people there in Belize, the community there that I have. And yeah, like we almost took it, but we went ahead with it. Definitely, I had to face different challenges at the beginning of this semester. In fact, I am at this moment behind in paying tuition because the way that university does it is that they, you know, they give you a deadline and you could pay in small amounts. But I'm behind. Just a little description about my parents. My dad, he's a migrant from El Salvador, so he came to Belize. Escaping from the war. My mom is from Guatemala, and she came to Belize to seek a better opportunity. Both of them just have, I think, just primary school education. They didn't even go to high school. So I would like be the first person to get this, to get a bachelor's degree, and also my brother as well.
Up next, Holy Redeemer Cathedral battles serious termite infestation.
Belize is a small society. We have limited talent.
It seems that the ministers in Prime Minister Briceño's cabinet are indeed talented, but not in the way one would hope for good governance. Rather than striving for integrity and accountability, they show a talent for loose morals and abuse of office. From inappropriate messages to exploiting their offices for lewd, personal gains, these ministers display a talent for compromising public trust. the morally corrupt Briceño cabinet is betraying the people's trust. The people wanted a cabinet of decent ministers. Instead, what they got was a cabinet of whatless ministers.
Make your summer better. Over $30,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan. Use $100 or more regular prepaid credit. Do a SIM swap or text in to the short code 786. In the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase.
No waste no time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes. All methods give you more chances to win local airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize valued at $10,000, courtesy of Smart and the Belize Tourism Board.
Promotion ends September 15th. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart's Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Holy Redeemer Cathedral is a landmark in Belize City. The church has been a place of worship for persons of the Catholic faith for well over a century. But there's a major problem. The woodwork inside the cathedral is being devoured by termites. And despite an effort to address the problem, the church is turning to parishioners, alumni, as well as the business community for financial assistance. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
For this day to happen, it had to happen on God's time and according to God's way.
This cathedral is important. It's the mother church for the whole diocese. This is the seat of the bishop. And of course, I mean, this is also, I think this building's over 100 years.
Erected in November 1858, Holy Redeemer Cathedral is made of bricks that were recovered from the weights of sailing ships that ferried logwood and mahogany back to England. Up until the 1920s, the exterior of Holy Redeemer Cathedral displayed those blocks before the outer walls were subsequently plastered. Inside the edifice, the pews, high altar, and side altars are all made of mahogany. Today, the interior of the bishop's church is under direct attack by a large colony of termites.
When we look back where the altar is above, we saw this brown thing, and we got people and says it's actually termites. So we do know that there was a lot of work to do.
The century-old building has been battling a severe termite infestation for many years. It was only when Father Amelio Chi returned to the parish a month ago that he ordered a thorough evaluation of the structure.
When I was assigned here, we were just coming in and seeing what is here, what do we need to do. And being here from 1994 to 2001, coming in here, I see there's a lot of things to be done. For example, like Hurricane Lisa blew out one of the, actually two of the stained glass windows.
The severe storm that ravaged Belize City last year also left in its wake sludge, which found its way beneath the wooden floors at the altar. That combination of watery mud and rotting wood only made matters worse, as the invasion spread across the parts of the cathedral.
We call the pest control persons that are in here today, and they made an assessment and they told us that well, as far as we know, we can see the nest is up there, and we're told that the nest is coming down and spreading. It has gone to a building, to a room that we call the feeding program room, and the walls are like hollow. They have like plycem, so that they had to spray that. And then behind the house, behind the cathedral, there's also like a yard. There are some trees, and they're going toward the house. And what we do know had to be done is to stop the infestation as quick as possible. And today, that's what is being done.
It's a long-term project to address this urgent situation. Today, the church was closed to the public, presumably the first in a really long time. To tackle the plague, however, the priest is turning to his flock for financial assistance with the project.
Now we're appealing to the congregation that because this is a long-term project, we will need to, after the spraying today, we have to get like a contractor to see what is actually behind. Is there any damage? For example, even the floor. And so it's like, after all of those things, we need finance. And parish members, we have sat down, and one of the things we're planning to do is to do a fundraiser through a bazaar that the parish normally has around the ending of November, the beginning of December. And we also plan to do like a barbecue sale even before that.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.